So if university professors can say the VC is a dictator, one man,
and you're there.
one man, and you are there with all those brains, even when the politics of the day is going on, what is happening? BBI, change the constitution. The university must be at the center of these things. That's where we should end as a country. People should not be asked to pay 1 shilling in the university.
Hello, welcome to Professor Herman Manyora's channel. My name is Jadiel Cabero here with Professor Herman Manyoras. Today's conversation, Prof, is about a field that you've been in for quite some time. What is happening in our university? Students have been crying over the week, protests from the University of Nairobi. What is happening?
So Dead and Kimathi.
Even Dead and Kimathi.
I think there are changes going on at the University of Nairobi, and I think they will go to all these other universities. The one the students are reacting to is school fees. There's an increment in fees and students as usual. So anywhere in the world, whenever you touch fees, I remember some times back, there were riots in the UK when this issue came up. So that's one of the problems. But the bigger problem is the restructuring at the university, which faculty, university professors think the changes may be good, some of them. Others good but abrupt. Others maybe not well explained. But the big contention is lack of engagement. What in Kenya has come to be known as public participation.
Would you say that is true for University of Nairobi?
For me, I don't think it is true. But my colleagues, and since they are in the majority, I must give it to them. They feel there wasn't sufficient engagement. The way I understand it, myself, and I'm in the minority, so we give them the majority, let them have their way.
Yeah.
I think there was sufficient consultation, because the way you run consultation at the University of Nairobi, for example, is not the same way you run if you are doing something in Parliament or in a county assembly. There are structures within the university, and it is assumed that members of the university community are intelligent enough to be able to engage in a limited time, in a limited way. So, for example, they say there was an email that was sent to staff at the University of Nairobi with a questionnaire that maybe would sort of get the views of the staff.
More of a survey, yeah.
So some people say 5 days, it was too short. And now, if a professor can find 5 days to be too short, then there's a problem somewhere. And you see, university has its own structures. The biggest decision-making organ of the university is Senate. Of course, council is the manager, but in terms of the academics and what goes on. So if something has been tabled in Senate, you want to assume the senators are part of us. And there are also other small organs like the faculties, schools, directorates and departments. And the university people there are no secrets at the university. University is not a place where you can even do anything and say it's kept secret or even interviews. These are intelligent people, they talk about these things. So even when they are not being involved directly, it's possible they could have picked these things and gotten into the debate. They see sometimes I laugh. Yeah. Professors are behaving as if they needed to be called to Kamkunji, the Great Court, or the Chancellor's Court, or Uhuru Park, to be engaged on public participation. I think, but they have a genuine concern. That's the problem.
Some people are saying that the University of Nairobi, including most universities, the VCs are operating in a dictatorial kind of way. Would you say this is true because of the engagements?
You see, I find that is laughable. And that is a problem with this country. When Professor Mbidi left the University of Nairobi, there was celebration. I wrote, I think, in the Standard. I asked my fellow professors, well, by the time you get to teach at the university, I'm expecting you are at a certain level. You're operating at a certain level. So now tell me, how an individual can mess the university with all these professors
seated there?
This is the problem of this country. A headmaster or a principal is posted in a good school. A school that has a tradition going back 50, 60 years. Kakamega High School, established in 1932. Then a man was brought there. He messed the school. He cut all the trees. The school was in a forest. Akatengeneza mbao, akauza kuni. Kakamega High School. Akang'oa hizi visiki akachoma makaa. And the school has almost 100 teachers. They are just watching. Educated. That is the problem in this country. So if university professors can say the VC is a dictator, one man,
and all that.
One man, and you are there with all those brains.
How about the fee increments?
The fee increment is a sensitive matter. And it's not something you can just wake up.
Because I've been seeing there are debts in the university.
The university has debts, but partly because of mismanagement and corruption. Look here, you know me, I laugh at this country has a problem. I keep saying if I'm the president, because really, I wish I could be the president of this country. If you want to become the vice chancellor of University of Nairobi, the interview is simple. I invite all people who want to be vice chancellors. I call, come. We have a sit-in at State House or Harambee House. I tell you, do you have the ideas to run this university? Yes, I'm giving you 30 days to come and convince me how within 2 years or 3 years, you'll never ask 1 shilling from government. 1! Including salaries. Come and tell me how you'll make the money, enough money to run the University of Nairobi and even do new things without coming for 1 shilling after 2-3 years.
Would that be possible?
Of course. I can do it in my sleep.
I
can do it in my sleep. If I'm given the University of Nairobi, I'm not qualified. I'm a very simple, small person there. But if I'm given to run, in my sleep, I can run this university and make 50 billion in a year.
Because all universities are going through the same problem, cash problem.
It's lack of imagination. It's lack of thinking. The University of Nairobi I think, is the biggest landowner in Nairobi town. Biggest landowner. It is the Catholic Church, University, and I think railways. These are the people who own houses and land in Nairobi. The University of Nairobi, up to now, it doesn't have a school of medicine. A teaching hospital, apart from being in any country, when presidents are sick, they go to university teaching hospital. It's supposed to be the best, with the state of the art. And in the process, in the modern world, you also make money. Pharmacy. We are importing drugs in this country from the most useless countries. Jingistan, countries you can't even trace on the map. You go on the shelves and you see. The University of Nairobi is just here. The University of Nairobi, I can make 50 billion in a year if I'm the University of Nairobi. From my bed.
Without the government?
I can't even go to work. I just do it from my bedroom when I'm taking breakfast.
So the fee increment is a problem that comes from the VCs?
You see, they are low-lying fruits. Why do you, in fact, let me tell you this.
Okay.
The University of Nairobi need not charge any fees. They have enough money. They are, my friend, do you know how much proper the University of Nairobi has?
So someone can go to school in UON as a student without paying fees?
They should. That's where we should end as a country. People should not be asked to pay 1 shilling in the university. But that conversation is not possible. If the professors are looking at the VC as a god, the VC must do everything. The VC is a dictator. They are supposed to be to join to be in the center of things. Look at in this country, if you know my fellow professors are not doing well. Even when things are going on in the country. You see, things are going on in the country now. Even change of the education system. Is the university involved?
That's the question.
Even the faculties of education, they are just sitting there. When this CBC thing came, I remember the later professor called Professor Ndangasi, are the almost the only people who engaged in the media that we were questioning. But these students are coming to university. So if you mess them down here, what product are you receiving at the university? But the university is not engaging. So they are looking at this thing in terms of one person. The university can offer free quality education. But they must think beyond outside the box.
Would you say the problem now starts from the VC or the Ministry of Education?
Everywhere. The Ministry of Education wants to micromanage universities. I've always wondered, what is this thing called Q? Commission of University Education. What is this? Can Q, does it have the capacity even to manage University of Nairobi? The resourceful nature of the personnel, the academy, the academia at the University of Nairobi is beyond the comprehension, leave alone management of Commission of University Education. But the professor there must show, when they were introducing the new Education Act that scrapped individual acts that formed individual universities. So, Universities Act 2012. In order to be accredited, in order to get the charter, we were queuing with Kabianga. Look, how can we queue with Kabianga for a charter? We are the ones to assist government or that queue of theirs to help small universities grow. But here we are being put on a queue for a charter with them. So I'm saying my colleagues ought to think beyond the box.
So one thing that I've also noticed is conversation on useless courses that are supposed to be taken out.
Yes, yes.
Would you say we have courses right now that students should not be pursuing, and what would you do to the students that are currently pursuing
I
them?
watched the Citizen TV discussion, and there was Charles Gay, Senator of Nandi, saying useless courses like anthropology.
Yeah.
Nothing is more laughable than that.
Yeah.
You see, useless not in the way the World Bank is directing us and people are thinking that history is useless, anthropology. That is the most useless way of looking at academics. First of all, the university cannot be tasked with the responsibility of producing people to go and work. The university is not a training institute. It is a place where minds are developed, thinking. The university deals with knowledge, thinking. You produce a scientist in the name of an engineer.
Yeah.
But if you want somebody to do the job, you produce a technician or a technologist. There must be distinctions there. However, when Module 2 was introduced, this parade program, in the rush to make money, like I heard, was it the minister? I heard somebody saying, yeah, the VC. People began coming up with all manner of courses.
Oh.
You get a course, you split it, you call it another name, then you cut it again. You know, those ones are useless.
It's like journalism, and then we have media.
Yes, things inside ya ukora ndani hapo.
faculties,
Yeah,
courses.
insurance. Instead of MBA, unaweka ka insurance hapo. Hiyo ni upumbavu hiyo. But to school anthropology, history, useless, because you are looking at market, is to miss it by a big, big, big margin. But this discussion cannot end without us saying the university must be aware, both staff and the management, things cannot be the way they have been. The world is evolving. The world is changing. COVID has taught us things. There is this new normal. We cannot sit and say, let things remain the way they were. But we cannot task one person to think for us. We must all join the thinking. And when things are going wrong, when CBC is being introduced, and doesn't make sense, but the university professors are not talking about it.
Why would you say it doesn't make sense? You've been saying that for quite
That's
some
a discussion
time.
for another day. This doesn't make sense. If somebody invites me, you invite me to tell you why CBC to me doesn't make sense.
We'll have that conversation.
We'll have that. But the university must engage. Even when the politics of the day is going on. What is happening? BBI. Change the constitution. The university must be at the center of these things. When we complain about some things that, for example, you are saying the ministry could be partly responsible. Yes and no. In fact, if the university was active, the ministry will be rendered irrelevant.
Oh.
Yes. When I see directives and orders coming from the ministry, I just laugh. We should just tell them off. It is us to generate knowledge.
And foresee.
It is us to create models to run this country. Then you find things, performance contract things coming from the ministry. So you wonder now, who should be creating models? Is it us or somebody in Jogoas who needs to be taught? Somebody you need to put down to teach is now directing you how to run a university.
Will we see a change in the universities and the public, especially the public universities, anytime soon? Changes
will be there, but not desirable changes. First of all, they are not well thought out. If you say you have a cash crunch, you behave like government that rushes to increase taxes. You increase fees. That is cheap. Ask yourself, are there ways I can make money while maintaining the core business of university? Is there something I can do without departing from the mission of the university that can sustain me? And all universities are doing this. Universities have big endowment funds, billions of dollars. How can we move to a place where if you go in our endowment fund, you find there unaangalia unakuta 250 billion. You see? 250.
Yeah.
With 100 of that taken to the treasured bills and bonds and these safe investments. You know, so that the university, in case something happened, the university can pay this stuff for 100 years without even bothering about the treasury. That is thinking required. But I don't see that thinking coming from the university. Time has come. And I'm happy that these changes are coming. Maybe they will wake up the academy, because the academy is asleep.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Professor. That has been a conversation on the universities. And my goodness, universities don't need to be in debt. They need to actually not take money from the government. That's Professor Herman Manyora for you. Until we have this conversation again, my name is Jadal Kabiro. Subscribe, join, click the notification bell so that once a video comes out, you are the first one to see it. Thank you.
Thank you too.